Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. The best and worst of January's gaming, January 2025's gaming. So this is basically the same thing we were doing before, where we give you the rundown of the things that we've been playing over a certain period of time, except after we did like 2024 sort of sum up in December 2024, I thought that worked, where we kind of did the best and the worst, really. I thought, what if we just did that for every month? Using the same format, these are the games we've been playing, but we separated them effectively into two columns. And that's what we're going to do now, to give you a bit more insight into really what is the best and the worst of what we've been playing over a month period. And that's what we're going to do. Looking at January 2025's gaming, and I've done a lot, and I have a lot to freaking say. But from a best and worst perspective, while of course adding our insight into achievements, things that have been easy, things that have been so frustrating. Tomb Raider! Still one is outstanding. I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So I've got a lot, Damon. I'm going to tell you that now. A lot of them I can fly through, but I have a lot. So I'm going to start by admitting to my crime. It's a disgraceful crime. It's something I've never really done before to this extent, but happened at the beginning of January, and it's kind of carried on to some degree. It's calmed down now, mainly because I run out, but also I've not got as much free time. So after Christmas, even though I went back to work over the New Year period, it was chill. It was quiet. Things weren't back to normal for a while, and that kind of allowed me to kind of play games. Anyway, as we were ticking over to the 1st of January, I realized I was 100,000 short of 1 million gamer score. I was at 900,000 gamer score. 901 to be exact. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to set myself a target? I'm going to get 1 million gamer score by the end of 2025. That was my goal. I decided I was going to set a goal and get 1 million gamer score by the end of 2025. So that's 100,000 over a year, which might sound doable until you realize, actually, that's really difficult. It really is when you break it down. I thought in my head it sounded simple, but I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. That's like there's 365 days in a year. That's like 1,000 gamer score roughly every 3 days.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, shit. But I thought, don't drop the goal. Just see if you can do it. And then I thought, well, okay, what tricks can I do? Obviously, there are many games out there with easy achievements that I haven't played before. I thought we'd start with that. So but then I also learned that, oh, I can double up a lot of these games. Doing the PC version, which is a separate list to the Xbox. So I'm just going to fly off a ton of games that I did. So basically, I can tell you here, because I've got it written up on my board here. On January the 3rd, I had 900,000, 911,618. 911,618 is what I had on January the 3rd. On January the 12th, I had 928,553. I jumped up by almost 17,000 in less than a week, in just over a week.
So that explains why when I went onto my Xbox and I saw that you had like 17,000 gamers for the month. I was like, how the fuck have you done that? So that explains that. I was like, because Liam had something similar. I thought, are they both like doing something?
Well,
so now I know.
Yeah, because obviously I messaged in our gaming group on WhatsApp, and Liam said, oh, he was right behind me. And I checked, and he wasn't right behind me, but he was, in theory, he could probably catch me. And I thought that's kind of urged me, as I kind of want to get there before him as well. So I'm just going to quickly chuck out a ton of games that I played that were basically achievements within 20 to 30 minutes. Some maybe took a few hours, but mainly I was buying games that were like, and the thing is, these games are like £2. I was picking them up when they were on sale, and that was it. So I did Honeyland twice. Honeyland twice, using a guide takes 30 minutes. PC and Xbox. Tory Guardian. I've only done it once. You can do it twice on that, but I've only done it once. That took 20 minutes. Wordbreaker by Pogi. Took about 40 minutes with a guide. Bluey the video game. That took like 2 hours. that might have been what that I put. That's not in the best of the worst. This list isn't in the best of worst, but it should be in the worst. It
Yeah,
is not. It is not as bad as Peppa Pig, which fucking blew. But Bluey's still crap. I hate it when they make games for kids and they're like, "Our kids are idiots. We don't have to try." Like,
yep.
come on, man. It's insulting. From Earth to Heaven. From Earth to Heaven is one of those platformers, first-person platformers, except its achievements can be got in 10 minutes because all you have to do in that game is start each level. And every level is available from the start. So you just start 10 levels and they're all got, right? I know. I'm not proud of this. Autumn's Journey to Takarita Meets Fries and Cross the Moon. These are these story games. You know those story games, visual novels that basically you can speed through the text, make the decisions, and that's it. And
Mm,
these ones, I don't think they even had decisions to make. It was just play through it at super speed. They're completed in like 5 minutes.
yeah.
Shy Cat's Hidden Orchestra, Shy Dog's Hidden Orchestra, Shy Cat's Hidden Tracks Volume 1. These are all PC games. I love the Hidden Cat games. The Hidden Cat. This is not the same company. This is a different company, and their version is terrible. These games I actually hated playing because it was really hard to find the fucking things. And it took
Mm,
me a good few hours to complete them all. And Age of Empires Definitive Edition, which I ended up doing, took me about 6 hours on the PC. And part of the reason why it took me so long is it had one online achievement. So to set up my second account to be able to do that took quite a while. It was quite a pain in the ass. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
yeah, that's a game that I want to play too, but that online achievements put me off.
Yeah, well, okay, well, if you ever do it, I am available. I can do it with you. I have the game.
Mm,
And lastly, I've left this one to last from the I should be so embarrassed list because this is probably the worst. Now, there is justification, is that there are actually glitches so that some of these achievements won't even unlock. And seemingly, in a way, to just not deal with the problem, the developer went, okay, we'll put this out there. And then people can do it this way. Cooking Simulator, which is on the Xbox as well, but is on the PC, can have all its achievements unlocked within 5 minutes. And we are talking over 2,000 gamer score here and about 70 achievements. How do you unlock them in 2 minutes? Well, simply, they gave us the debug mode. And you just put the debug details in and then just turn each of the achievements from off to on. Takes a while. The 2 minutes is basically how long it takes you to fucking turn them all to on. I am not proud of that one. I'm not. But
you should be ashamed of yourself.
I know I would give you shit over it. I would give you shit as well. But all of this jumped me thousands ahead, where I then was like, okay, cool. I was able to take my foot off the gas. And what I've now been doing is the same thing with PC, but now I've been playing games that are longer and just games that I've missed over the years. A lot of point and
Mm,
click stuff and all of that. I'm not proud of this, but I promise you now, it's going to continue. I've already got some on my Xbox now that were like on sale this week that like super super easy. I'm getting to that million gamer score. I don't care how I do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all got fucking these games, but you're Cooking Simulator. But here's the thing: this seems to have been in response to the fact that some of the achievements are broke. The developer made the debugger made mode rather than fix it. They went, let's just do this.
yeah.
Okay, that's that out of the way. Let us now focus on the best and the worst of the games of January 2025. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go back and forth, or do you want to just focus on the worst, do all of them, and then maybe do the best as a more positive thing to end on?
Well, I've only played 6 games, and I've only got one in the worst.
Okay, then what we'll do is we'll do all the worst to begin with, and I will do almost all of mine, and then we'll stop when I've got one left, and then you can do, and then you can do yours and so on. So we'll start with
Yep.
Spot the Challenge Volume 1. I bought this literal week. A Spot the Difference game on Xbox. And a couple of quid, and I thought that'll be fun and relaxing. Honestly, it took me 40 minutes to do the first fucking puzzle. I I couldn't see it. I'm staring at the screen going, where is it? And like the problem is they've made this game so hard that it's like it'll be like a leaf that looks exactly the same, but oh no, there's this tiny little crinkle in it that you would have to get up like that to the screen. Honestly, I hate it. I hate it. Um, I am playing. I haven't finished this yet, but I'm about 3/4 through the way of Dordogny. Dordogny? Do you you mentioned you played this? You mentioned it a long time ago. Dordogne.
Okay, yeah,
Dondi. I don't know how you say that.
yeah, yeah,
Oh my God, it is so fucking boring. I thought, well, it looks nice. Maybe it'll be quite sweet. It is so dull. Like,
yeah. It's not a bad game, but I'm pretty sure it's like one achievement where you got to complete the game without making a single mistake. Yeah, yeah, it's that one. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
that's
think
annoying.
it's that. I don't think it's make a mistake. I think it's about finding all these clues and things like that.
Mm.
I'm following a guide. I'm doing it on the PC and I'm doing it
Yeah,
very slowly. I started this game about 3 weeks ago, and every so often I'll get in and I'll play it for like 15 minutes. Normally just to get my rewards thing, play the game for 15 minutes.
yep.
But I find it so boring. I've got no urge to carry on. Save Farty, the trivia game. I want to fight this developer. Fight them. First off, I do not. I actually think these. I think it's got broken achievements as well, but I can't confirm that because no fucker owns this game, has put up any details about it. Because only stupid people like me come along and go, "Well, I like trivia games," and me and Lou like, and then I end up fucking buying this. Right, it's a trivia game. There's a chicken on the screen. You get three questions and you have to answer them correctly and stuff like that. They range.
Mm.
Some are super simple, some are super hard. It's like any trivia game if you know the answer. The issue is it's got achievements, right? So it's got one of the harder achievements is answer 25 questions correctly in a row without using any of your bonus items. We did that. But there's one about getting ranks. Reach rank 10, reach rank 25, and a reach rank 100. How the fuck do we How'd you do it? Like, generally, no idea. No
Do
idea.
you want to get like XP or something for like I don't know?
Nothing. There's no clues. There's nothing in the options. There's a leaderboard rankings where it'll show you your scores. We'll show you like your highest scores. But none of that. There was a guide someone had put in the comments for the 25 one, I think, or the 10, had put on true achievements, but their information is wrong. They're wrong. And someone else said, no, that's not how it is done. Clearly not, because they've done it. I've done it. But I can't find
Mm.
any information about this online. I have no fucking clue how you rank up. None. So yeah, avoid that stupid game. Uh this was Escape Academy. It was on Game Pass leaving, so I decided to fly through it. An escape room kind of thing. I thought, we'll follow a guide and do that. Now, you might be wondering why it's in the worst, because the actual main game was fine. It's the DLC. That is a problem. That the DLC had fun aspects, but the achievements attached to those DLCs was a bitch and forced me to have to do something 50 times, which was play 50 times over and over again. And these games weren't short. So what I
Mm.
ended up having to do was find the shortest variation, which I could end up doing by the end in a couple of minutes, and just do that over and over again. Talk about ruin a fucking game.
Yeah, so I've completed the base game, but
Ah,
I've got to do the DLC, and I haven't downloaded it yet. But that sounds mind-numbingly boring.
it is mind-numbingly boring. Make sure once just you'll learn quickly. It's the noughts and crosses one is the best one to do on a specific
Mm.
level. Learn every puzzle, and then once you know every puzzle, you can start that up, get it done within 2 or 3 minutes, and just put something else on a TV somewhere, just to
Yeah,
distract yourself.
yeah, yeah.
A short hike. I've had this game on my gamer card for fucking years. It's like you play as a bird who has to climb a mountain and along the way do little side quests and adventures. It's kind of pixelated graphics. It's been on my gamer's card for years. It doesn't double up with the PC. It's the same amount of achievements. So I ended up playing it on PC because I thought it might play better on that. It doesn't.
Mm.
Not only is it incredibly dull, but it's incredibly ugly to look at, and it all just feels so. Ugh. And it's got an achievement which is to like it's finding things, but you've got like no map, and it's quite a large area,
Mm.
so it's really hard to navigate. So I ended up doing what I hate doing. I hate following video guides
Yeah,
because it can be really slow and boring, and particularly I hate having to follow a video guide after I've already collected half the fucking things.
yeah. So it might be like the last one you need. Yeah, yeah.
which is exactly what it ended up being.
Of
So yeah,
course.
fuck a short hike. This game should have been in the achievements only because obviously I've talked about One Step After Fall before. It's one of the most famous dirty achievement games, and the fact that you could play it on your Xbox now, and I think it's 4,000 gamer score, and you can get that 4,000 gamer score within 10 minutes. The company, it got itself in trouble with Microsoft for a while. I don't know what happened there, but they basically realized people were buying their game just for the achievements. So when, you
Mm.
know what we'll do? We'll re-release the game, but in different languages.
Oh,
See,
okay, yeah,
and it
yeah,
would
this
be in
one.
a different achievement list, which also applied to the PC version. So I did the PC version as well. The reason why it's in the worst is because it is generally a terrible game. Like, forget the easy achievements. It's just a terrible game. A terrible game with like this really mixed messaging that
Mm.
I just don't like. The case of the Golden Idol. This is a point and click game, a really weird looking point and click game that I played legitimately as well, with some where you kind of have to investigate a murder. It's kind of like Poirot and stuff like that. We have to investigate a
Mm.
murder and then work out how they died and stuff like that. It's got a couple of DLCs as well. Took me a couple of hours, but I didn't like it. I ended up by the end of it, I realized, oh, I didn't like any of this. You know?
Cheap games.
Yeah, these are the worst. Right, so I've got one more left, so you can tell me your worst.
Yeah, so I'm actually extremely disappointed that I've got to
Oh
put this game
no.
in as I genuinely am because I've loved the entire series, but it's like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Oh God! Wow! I saw you playing this, and I thought, oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting. All right, elaborate.
yeah, I am so. I mean, annoyingly, I've won 4 achievements in the game, so that's I can't delete it from my gamer card. But it
Same.
is honestly one of the worst games I've ever played. Well, sorry, it's the worst in the series that I played, and it just. I'm only like there's 15 chapters. I'm only on like chapter 2 or 3, but it's like the first 4 hours of the game. It's all been dialogue. It's been talking, talking, talking. There's been no action, and I just think they've lost the I don't know the way of what Yakuza games are supposed to be.
Oh,
You're
they've lost their vision.
yeah, it's like you're in Hawaii for fuck's sake, and on a beach and stuff like that. That's not Yakuza games.
Well, it's not anymore, is it? It's like a dragon, isn't it? Maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
clue. Do you
Yeah.
think? Do you think? Do you think the problem with that series is that there's too many, too fast? Like they are churning them out, right? Like there's a pirate one coming
I
in
know.
the next couple of months, right?
I thought that. Yeah, literally, I think it's like a new game every year or every. It's
It
close to
feels
that.
quicker. It feels
Yeah, yeah,
quicker.
yeah.
Hmm. I'm sorry that. Oh, are you going to carry on with it?
I'm going to finish it because as I said, I'm only like 3 chapters into it, so it might get better towards the end of the game. So,
Right, keep us updated. I'll be very interested to see if by the end you've got a totally different point of view on that. But for
mm,
now, it stays in the worst, right?
yep.
And my worst is Don't Let Him In. This is one of those retro graphic horror games. You know, you've seen them where it's supposed to look like it's from the PlayStation 1 era and stuff like that. I actually kind of like this shit. And I thought this one would be fun. It said it was described online as being quite short. You could complete it in about 30 minutes to an hour. In fact, I've
Mm.
got a full playthrough that's about 35 minutes long on the YouTube channel. So I thought this would be fun. It's not. It's not. It tries to rip off Silent Hill, but it makes no fucking sense. It's really boring, it's really dull, and it's got some really bad controls and moments of gameplay that are so stupid that you almost start laughing. There was these 2 enemies at the end that I think they were supposed to be attacking me, but all it ended up looking like they're doing is fucking the wall. Like I'm talking about proper like up against the wall, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I leave then. Leave you guys to this. Do you know what I mean? Oh, terrible, terrible game. I've got a full playthrough on. If you want to watch it, folks, it's about 35 minutes. You can see all this crap in my playthrough. I recorded it. So there's that. But let's now jump to the more positive side of things. The games that we've been playing that have been really, really good. Now, how many do you have?
One, two, three. I'm going to say 3 because the other 2 which I have played they're so old, so I don't think they deserve to get in this list.
Oh well, not necessarily. Don't worry about old games and stuff like that because some
But
of
then
mine
it'll
I've
be
gone
5 then.
back to. Five,
It'll be
cool.
5 then.
Are any of them Tomb Raider?
No.
Right, then that means we start with fucking Tomb Raider. I separated them. I took the three of them separately and put them inside. They are in the best for obvious reasons, but it's the last time, hopefully. Well, no, we won't. There'll be one more time we'll have to talk about this, but it might be the last fucking time you hear us talk about the modern two. Because obviously, the series of events that went from us watching the show to you never playing them, to you playing the games, which then encouraged me to go back and complete the games as well, because we ended up doing the Tomb Raider online achievements. And then I thought, let's carry on with the rest of the stuff. And that's what I want to talk about. So obviously, last time I spoke, Tomb Raider, the original of the remake trilogy, had glitched out to fuck. All its online stuff was mostly a problematic for me. Do you know how I got around it? Oh, sorry, not the online. The online wasn't a problem. The conversations wasn't
Mm,
unlocking, and I'd done it twice, and that's most of the fucking game.
yeah.
And likewise, the challenges that didn't unlock twice for me again. And again, that's the majority of the game. And so after the unlock it the second time, I just lost all hope. But I finally came up with a solution and I thought this might work. This must work. It shares its achievements with the PC version. My PC was powerful enough to run it.
Mm,
I did it one more time in the PC and everything unlocked. And because of that, then I got so frightened I ended up doing the rest of the multiplayer on the PC as well, just
yeah.
to make sure, because PC didn't seem to have a problem. That completed Tomb Raider. Honestly, the definitive edition, they really fucked these games up when they did the upgrades for the Xbox Series X stuff. They really did. Such a shame. That brings me to. Oh, go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say to you because I noticed on your gamer card, I saw it says that you've 100% Tomb Raider, but it's missing 10 gamer score.
No, that's Rise. That's Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna get to that as the last thing. So we're now gonna jump to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Um, Firstly, we haven't actually talked about this one because last time we did a video, you hadn't played this one yet. So,
Mhm.
verdict on Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Loved it. Yeah, absolutely. Probably, I would say probably one of the best, minus the online. Which for me, the online that we did was probably one of the best things about the game.
Wait, no, Shadow. The new Shadow has no online.
No,
You
no,
mean
no,
Rise? That was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
yeah, sorry. I'm saying that for me, it was one of the best games, the best two I've ever played, minus the
Oh,
online that we did. So, yeah, so the
yeah, I
online. Oh,
misunderstood. Yeah, because
yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But yeah, what we did with Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of my favorite things of all the Tomb Raider games as well.
Mm,
I have to ask you though, right? So I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the most Tomb Raider game of the trilogy. That felt
yeah.
like it was clearly this than the very original Tomb Raider from the 90s, right? There's
Mm,
the connection. But and I wrote it in my review at the time because I reviewed it on the site at the time. Did it not feel a bit like familiar? Like they'd run out of ideas here and there. Like it was all a bit like, okay, there's a reason why this is a trilogy and there's not been a fourth game.
yeah, I mean, it was effectively just the same sort of story as Rise, and there wasn't much different. Yeah, I still enjoyed playing it, but yeah, effectively, as you said, they basically run out of ideas, and it's yeah.
Yeah, it's just overly familiar, and I loved the environment, but like I hate Shadow of the Tomb Raider's end boss. Absolutely think it's the worst of all of them. Like it's such a
Yeah.
terrible end boss. But hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. I am also going to criticize Shadow of the Tomb Raider 4, so it has a lot of DLC. Six
Mm,
DLCs,
yeah.
and they're very easy to complete because they are just six DLC tombs. And the achievement is basically getting gold, silver, and bronze in it. That's it. How fucking disappointing is that?
Yeah.
You had a great system from Rise of the Tomb Raider that involved the fucking cards. That I loved that aspect. I thought it was so. How do you not take that exact same thing and use it in Shadow of the Tomb Raider? How do you make it so lazy, particularly when the tombs in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, they were really fun. A lot of them are
Yeah.
really clever and imaginative, but it felt like there was no encouragement but to play through it just once. And because all you had to get was the lowest medal, there was no challenge. You could take your
Nope.
time. Oh man, I was so disappointed.
Yeah, as you said, there was no effort at all. Literally, I didn't even bother going for gold or silver. If I got it, okay, cool. It made no difference because
And it was
yeah,
quite
yeah,
easy sometimes to get gold as well.
it was too easy. Yeah, it was far too easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it very disappointing, even though I liked it. So that was cool. But I unlocked basically all the achievements unlocked, bar I had two problems. So the first was most of them were delayed and properly delayed, like 15 minutes.
Mm,
But if you look, I think my last achievement is the shoot a turkey with a flare.
yep.
That's my last achievement. Well, why? Right? That's weird. They stopped spawning for me. Full stop wouldn't spawn in the game where they're supposed to.
Did you do the thing where like if you close it all down again? Really? Because that's what I did. I had to close everything down, and then when I turned back on again, there's like 4 or 5 running around.
Tried it, did it over several different days, tried everything. Could not work out what I was doing wrong because for what everybody said online, that's how you solved it. Couldn't
Mm,
work it. In the end, I had to start a new game, rush my way to that. No, sorry, right. At the same time as that, I was playing on the hardest difficulty. And so I ended up doing on that difficulty setting instead of my original save game file because I forgot I
okay.
had to play through the game to do it on the hardest difficulty. Also, fuck the hardest difficulty. The gap between checkpoints was stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Back to Rise of the Tomb Raider and the bane of my fucking existence. Oh my god. Right. First off, this is my favorite of the trilogy now. It is. I love the environment. I love the story. I love the levels. I love everything about this. I also think it's got the best DLCs. I think
Mm,
obviously what we played with the survival one was just a
yep.
fucking blast. Absolutely loved that. Would have liked to have seen that expanded upon. Really expanded upon. There's another one that was kind of done like a horror thing where you have to keep quiet from these like zombie like creatures. I really liked that as well. It had puzzles in
Yeah.
it as well. That was fun. All of this shit was fun. I loved the card system. I loved going back and trying to get the best medals, the
Mm,
highest, like the highest. That felt great. I loved it. I loved it all. But the amount of fucking glitched achievements, the
yeah.
amount of glitched fucking achievements, Christ on a stick.
Yeah.
So you're right. It looks like I've got 100%, except I don't, because there's one 10 scored game, one that won't unlock, and I've tried everything. And the last thing that's left for me to try is to start the entire fucking game again. But I need then to get myself to a point where my shotgun is powerful enough to kill 3 enemies at once, which is the one that's won't unlock. Now it's been
Okay.
now obviously it's said that some of these take a long time to unlock. The last time, so basically, the last time I did multiple different shotguns. I did multiple different areas, trying different groups of bad guys. I did everything so I like it wasn't a specific gun or a specific area or anything like that. I did it in the main
Mm,
game. I did it in a fucking goddamn replay, chapter replays.
yeah.
Nothing. And it was 3 weeks ago, and it's still not unlocked.
Yeah. That's fucked. That.
Honestly, it pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
So, go on.
No, I was going to say obviously you've obviously been bloody extremely unlucky. Yeah, because
I
obviously
have.
for me, I had issues too, but obviously nothing compared to that. So
Yeah. And folks, I've done it all. I've uninstalled it all. I've tried to play outside cloud save files, all of that. My last thing is to just try it and start it again and hope eventually. The problem is that I've got no drive to start it again. I'm so Tomb Raidered out that the idea of because I would have to play that game to at least halfway through because the
I
problem is I'll
think,
get a shotgun earlier on, but it won't be powerful enough to kill
mm,
3 enemies at once. That's the fucking problem.
yeah,
Because I was like, oh, I checked. I was like, if I start it again, will I get to keep on my cards? And apparently I won't. So I can't even do that. Like
yeah,
then get a card that's got a powerful shotgun. Hopefully at some point I get to report one last time that the game is fully complete. Hopefully. Okay, let's talk the best end. So you've got 5, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let me do 3 of mine, and then we'll match up and go back and forth. So I will
yeah.
start with Botany Manor. Now, Botany Manor is actually an easy achievement game. It's what I did. And actually, I've done it twice, folks. I did it on the PC and the Xbox. 2 different achievement lists. I know, David. I don't care. I don't care.
No, I've completed the game, but I love the game, but it's
Yeah.
on the PC, so that means that I'm going to go back and do it myself now. So
Yeah. Easy 1,000 gamer score. Follow a guide if you're not too sure, and some
Mm.
of it can be quite tricky. But I just found it really chilled and relaxing, and I really liked the puzzles around, like how you created the plants. Nothing felt too hard. It felt like if you were willing to really just sit and think about it, it'd be quite nice. I liked it. It gets a bit boring and samey by the end. There's a puzzle involving a fucking bird that I
Mm.
that I just thought was unnecessarily convoluted. But beyond that, like I liked it. So and like put this way, playing it twice wasn't a problem in the end. I was like, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Like it's a nice, colourful game, and it's a nice, relaxing game. Yeah, so I love the game too. So
Another one of mine is yesterday's Origins. This has been on my gamer card for nigh on 8 years, just sitting there. So what had happened was I had got to about a quarter of the way through the game. I had been recording. I remember what happened. I was going to play through this game, following a guide, a text guide, and record a video walkthrough of it. And what reason why is yesterday's Origins has a really tricky achievement where you have to interact with X amount of things, like, and you can some of them are missable. So it's
mm.
a little tricky to do. And I thought, well, do that as a video guide. That'd be good for the channel. Anyway, I fucked it up. It's ruining my video. And because of that, I guess I got frustrated, closed the game down, and just never went back to it. Well, I've gone back to it now and completed it fully without worrying about a video. And I enjoyed it. It's an old school point and clicker, where you control a character, you do dialogue, you've got puzzles. Reminded me a lot of Broken Sword. And that's a positive thing for me. It
Yeah,
has
cool.
got some stupid ass achievements, and some of them, surprise, surprise, are glitchy. But it is doable. So do you know what I mean? Like, it is doable.
Yeah.
But I like the game. I like the broken sword aspects of it. Okay, one more, and then you can jump in. Oh, speaking of point and click, Grim Fandango Remastered. I did this on the PC following a guide. I'd never played Grim Fandango, people. I'd never played this game. It's obviously quite legendary. And it's quite amazing that the game exists, considering it's basically the game was lost. Its source code was lost or something like that. And somehow it's been rebuilt and remade and recreated as it is. It is a lot of fun. But it is an
Mm.
old school point and click game. And what I mean by that is it is one of those old school point and click games where it's basically fucking nonsense. That if you didn't have a guide, it would be, I think, downright impossible. Like, it reminds me of the original Discworld game. Not Discworld 2, Missing Presumed, but the original Discworld game, where it'd be like, the original Discworld game would be like, okay, you have a dragon and you have a knife in your inventory. You need to light a fire under this cauldron. So naturally, you're like, well, I've got a dragon, fire breath, there's the logical end. No, Discord about it. No. What you need to do is you need to take that knife to this location, stab this thing that will then bleed this certain liquid. That's how random the original Discord game was. Discord
Mm.
2 Missing Presumed had similar stuff, but it was more logical. You
Yeah.
could work it out. The original Discord game is nigh and impossible to play without a fucking guide. And I think Grim Fandango is very similar. So I followed a guide, and because of that, though, I was able to enjoy the story without freaking out about puzzles. I'd listen to the conversations, I'd enjoy the story, then I'd be like, okay, this is what I need to do this weird ass fucking solution. So I ended up really enjoying Grim Fandango. Okay, jump in, your turn.
Cool. Game I really enjoyed was called Trials of Mana.
God
Yeah,
damn, Trials of Mana, that's going back a bit.
yeah. Remind reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy, but like the Crystal Colonies sort of style of Final Fantasy with all the beautiful colours, and it was a very good game, very enjoyable, easy completion. I mean, it took time, 20
It's
to
one of those
30 hours.
games.
Yeah, but really enjoyed the game. So it was one of those games where I needed a massive break from these long-winded games, and it was just a game where I could just relax and enjoy it. Yeah, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with Trials of Mana because obviously that's a fairly newish game from 2020, but like I believe it's connected to Secret of Mana, which is all the way back from 1993. There's been a few of these Mana games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. What shall I do next? Let's do Unwording. Unwording was one of these games. These are some of my favorite types of indie games. They're like, oh, they tell you up front, it's like an hour of gameplay, and it's designed to be emotionally affecting in some way. This game is basically you unscramble words, and it's about depression slash yeah, like anxiety, things like that. You play a man who goes about his daily life, but every word starts from maybe a positive perspective, but
Mm.
he in his head will twist it to be negative. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, uh, seeing that his phone's got no messages, he'll twist that to nobody cares. And that's the puzzle aspect that you've got to do is reword it
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that you understand what his mood is. As the game goes on, he finds a way to kind of break out of this negative cycle. So the game becomes brighter, but each stage the gameplay changes style. So it goes from like a 2D gray and color, like gray and uncolorful thing to like a fully 3D bright and colorful game with different
Mm.
variations on the puzzle. Take you about an hour to complete. Quite a sweet message. Not groundbreaking or particularly special, but you know, I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Uh, I'll start off with the two older ones. So Jurassic World Evolution 2.
You
So
finished it. Wow.
yeah, I've finished all the DLC, all the achievements. You know, it's always been my I love the old
I love
building
them. Yeah.
game. You know, yeah, I love them. And decided to, after many years, to pay the 15 quid for the Malta Domination Pack. Probably wasn't worth it, to be fair. It's only three achievements for 15 quid, and but it was easily a good 10 to 12 hours of enjoyment of the DLC. You know, complete 4 or 5 maps. Of course, get 5 stars in each level, but enjoyable. You know, so
I'm glad to hear that. I do want to go back to it. Obviously, I stopped playing it the moment I'd basically done everything but the hardest achievements, and it was so fucking hard. I had no interest in suffering through it. So I do need to
mm,
go back to it eventually because I've completed the first one. All right, keeping it simple, Donut Country. Do you know the game like Hole IO, where you're like a hole and you go around and things drop in?
yep.
This is that. This is Donut Country is that, except it's got a story about a raccoon who's. Do you know
I
Donut
played it.
Country?
I played it.
Right? How much fun is that?
It's a
Like
great
that is
game.
surprisingly fun game with an interesting story. But what I fucking loved was the achievements. They were clever.
Mm,
They were clever and smart, and like you could play for the game and get quite a lot of them, but you would miss certain ones because they required you to play a level in a different way, for example, and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of that. That's what replay value comes to. It's a
yeah.
decent length, doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a couple of hours long. If you follow a guide, it's even easier. But nothing was taxing or hard enough
Mm,
because ultimately all you got to fucking do is drop everything down a bloody hole for the most part.
well, yeah.
But sometimes there were clever ways that you had to do things, like and how you and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would like to see a sequel.
Yeah, that sort of games are always fun. You know, it's like a game called Unpacking. We got to like unpack the room and stuff like, you know, and the
I played
boxes and stuff like, you
unpacking.
know, always enjoyable game. Yeah.
Yeah, I played unpacking. I know unpacking.
Yeah, it's a good game. So I'm going to stick with Jurassic World. I also went back to the first one. I managed to get it extremely cheap. You know, it was like on sale for like 1.99. I hadn't completed it, so I thought I'd go back there. I've completed the base game, but then obviously comes the 6 DLCs, I think it is, or 5 DLCs, which I think is an absolute joke. But I downloaded 2 of the DLCs. Completed 2 of them, like Doctor Wu's Secret Labs or whatever it's called, something like that. Completed those 2 DLCs. I've still got another 3 to do at some point, but at the moment, actually, I probably should have sucked someone in the worst, to be fair, because I think they take the piss with the price. You know, they're charging like £15 for each DLC, which I think is a joke for such an old game. You know, that's like £45 for 3 DLCs. You know,
I suspect them not going on sale has been overlooked. Keep an eye out; they will go on
mm,
sale. I actually thought Jurassic World Evolution, the first one, had an egregious amount of DLCs that wasn't worth it. You mentioned Dr. Wu's one. I hated that one. Thought it was one of the worst DLCs of the entire
mm,
thing. Like you know they're good games, but they're far from flawless.
well, I'm sure there'll be a third one at some point. So.
No, so never say never. Never
Yeah,
say never on these things. Always. Okay, how many got left? I've got three left, right? And you've got three, yeah? Or two?
I've got two left.
Okay, right. This is one that I've only just started, so I won't go too long into it. But basically, do you know Stephanie Sterling, the YouTuber? Yeah? They did a top five games of the year, and I always listen to their opinion. I always do. I respect their opinion, so I'm always intrigued to see what they choose.
Mm.
Gory Cuddly Carnage was one of them, and I'd never even heard of this game. You play a cat who's on a hoverboard in this bright neon-colored world, killing monsters, evil zombie unicorns in blood and guts everywhere. Where big monsters tell you to fuck off, scream like it's sweary, it's violent, it's gross, in this bright, colourful thing. And it's hack and slash like Devil May Cry, that kind of style.
Mm.
And Stephanie loved it. And I was like, oh, okay, I've got to look at this game. Found that on it came out like August, but I guess nobody fucking knew about it. Decided to pick it up, played the first two levels, fucking love it. It is. I love hack. I don't play enough hack and slashes, and this is just it. This is very old school to me. But like the first boss is so much fun, and it
Mm.
controls. So you think a cat on a hoverboard doing fighting hack and slash against like you, it would be hard to control. Oh, you know they just
Yeah.
nailed it. They've got it all right. You know, massive recommendation. I've only just started, so I've got a long way to go. It'll come back in the future, and hopefully in our next month's video, I should be able to say what the full thing's like.
Sounds like
Right.
a very interesting game. So yeah, so I was going through like my old like I've got like about 20 Xbox 360 games like the
Of
discs.
course.
I was going through them all and obviously testing which ones actually worked because obviously some of them don't work anymore. And then obviously I found obviously Alan Wake. And I thought, surely I've completed this on my new gamer card. So I obviously put it in, and I hadn't completed it on my new gamer card.
Yeah.
I completed it years ago on my original one, and yeah, and I, I love Alan Wake. It's just an absolutely amazing game. You know, obviously I haven't played the remastering yet or number two yet. At some point I will do. But yeah, just literally, I spent probably 3 days completing the entire base game. I've still got to do I think two DLCs there is for the original one. But yeah, I just absolutely it's just an absolute masterclass of a game.
Of course, it's Alan Wake, and yeah, I mean the remastering. It's the same game, just a remastered version. Don't
Mm.
forget as well, American Nightmare, which is a Alan Wake's American Nightmare was back in the day. Do you remember for all you old people, Xbox arcade games, the 200 gamer score ones? Do you remember those things? Alan Wake's American Nightmare is one of them as well, and of
Yeah.
course. It was no secret that I called Alan Wake 2 the greatest game that was released of its particular year, and I
Mm.
still hold it in high bloody regard. Brotato, this is fun. So imagine Vampire Survivors, but not Vampire Survivors. And what I mean by that is the similar vibe where you can basically play the game with one hand and enemies come, waves of enemies, and you just got to kill them all. Except it's not insane like Vampire Survivors. It's more
Mm.
measured than that. The idea is you choose a potato, every potato has its own statistics, different pros and whatever, and then you play 20 waves or endless, depending upon if you want to finish 20 waves and then a boss or an endless mode. But you play 20 waves because you basically, there's an achievement for completing a run with every single potato, and there's like 50 fucking potatoes. It's gonna take a while,
Yeah.
but it's on Game Pass, and what I'm doing at the moment is doing a potato per day because basically right, it sounds dumb when I say that, right? Yeah, but a potato to the day because basically that's covering my play a game on a console for 15 minutes, play a Game Pass game, and all that. Each run takes about 30 minutes, depending upon how much time you spend in the shop. Because while
Yeah.
the waves themselves aren't very long, the longest wave is the last one, and it takes 70 seconds. The first waves are like 30 seconds long, and then eventually they're like a minute long, and there's 20 of them. Um, but it's in the shop where all the weapons and items are, and you've got to buy and spend and change weapons. That shit is so addictive, and there's some really clever achievements attached to all this stuff. Where it'd be like, oh, get to 50% HP regeneration and stuff
Mm.
like that. So you end up having to pick up items to reflect that. But alongside that, there's almost always a potato character who has a bonus that's related to the achievement. So if you end up playing this, so there was one that I thought would be difficult, which was to have 10 trees still alive on a map. And trees spawn in, and when you destroy them, they give bonuses. So having
Mm.
10 on a map seemed like it was difficult because not a lot of them spawn, and at the end of a wave, they all disappear. But you could get bonuses that let you like have more trees spawn. So you buy those bonuses. But then there was a character who benefited as bonus to such a point that it became an easy achievement just by playing that character. I love Brotato. Basically, Brotato is my, I want to play a game, but I don't want to have to think too hard at the moment. Let me put
Yeah.
something on, like music, and then I'll be like, let me do a wave of Brotato. I haven't actually done my Brotato wave today, so I'll do that later on. Okay, I got one more, but you do your last one, and then I'll throw mine in.
Yeah, so I've seen these games on Game Pass for so long, and I've always said one day I'll get them, I'll play them, and then I finally did. So I started yesterday. It's Wolfenstein, the new
Wolfenstein.
order. Yeah, Wolfenstein,
Wolfenstein.
new order. So I
Yeah.
started yesterday, and do you know it's a bloody good game. It's an old school shooting game, which I really really enjoyed, and I really really loved it. You know, and literally, it's clearly going to be quite an easy kind of completion because I've already got like 14 achievements in about an hour. But I really really enjoyed it, and it was just I needed that sort of game, which after completing Alan Wake, it's quite a big game to like just relax to, you know, and yeah, it gave me that feeling. So.
Yeah, I've completed the original Wolfenstein. There are a couple of more as well, sequels as well, and spin-offs and DLCs and stuff like that. So you're now going down a path there. Did you start it? So I remember Wolfenstein, the main Wolfenstein game. It's got an achievement for completing the hardest difficulty, and it actually is hard. So yeah, if you
Yeah, I've started on I believe with the hardest one, which like is called Uber or Uber or something else. Like, yeah, so I've started on the hardest. Yeah,
fucking hard, but yeah, good game. And last but not least, this game I am going to shout about now for the next fucking 100 years until I'm dead. This is basically one of my favorite horror games ever created. I cannot believe I can't believe how good this is. This is Still Wakes the Deep. This is a game that, oh man, oh, I just honestly, when I think about it now, like I took more screenshots and pictures of this game than I've taken of any game. I have a full playthrough recorded that is going to go in the channel so you can experience my of that. And the thing is, it's not even it's all a lot of people wouldn't like it because it's actually got like it's more of a walking simulator than a game. Like you know what a walking simulator is, of course. But there's no like you don't fight here. It's mostly walking around with some light platforming elements, some light puzzle solving, and run and hide gameplay where you have to run from monsters and hide from them. Now, I hate that style of gameplay, that particular one there, because what ends up happening is you just end up stuck some of our ages, waiting
Mm.
for the monster to go by, blah, 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 whatever. And then you end up having to backtrack all the time because you get caught and you got to run back to a fucking cupboard and hide in there and all of that. Still Wakes the Deep does it better than I've ever seen because not only do they make it easier, but they do it in a way that encourages you to constantly be moving forward. And that was perfect for me. But
Mm.
fucking hell. Right, everybody's going to tell you this game is summed up as The Thing on an oil rig. That's how people sum it up. Taking place on an oil rig, but John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
And they are right. That is exactly what it is, but it's so much fucking more. It is horrifying. This oil rig off the coast of Scotland, they drill into something, and all hell goes loose on this oil rig. And you are just a normal Scottish lad trying to survive as you watch your powers get turned and transformed into some pretty shocking stuff. I'm not going to spoil this game for you because I urge everybody to play this from a gameplay achievement perspective. It took me about it's 4 hours to complete. Story wise, the game itself, and that is obviously me taking my time.
Mm.
The achievements, there's a lot of missable achievements, right? Except for this. And goddamn, like a round of applause because this is how you do it. A lot of them are not collectibles, but collectible things, so to speak. So, for example, there's one achievement for finding, it's really dark, finding every body All the bodies of your teammates. Now, I actually did 12 out of 13 of them just in the game. Because remember, the game's very linear. It's not open world. You're following
Yeah,
pathways. So if you're stopping to look in every room, you're going to come across this shit anyway. I found
yeah,
12 out of 13. The last one I missed is just before the end of the game. Just before the end of the game, I missed this one. Well, that's annoying, right? Got to start it again, right? Nope. Not only does it have chapter select, but it's big, lots of chapter selects. Like it's really narrowed down, and that was brilliant. And
mm,
also, like, so all I had to do was restart the end chapter. There's the body, find it, achievement a pop like that. It tracks your fucking progress over all of the things, everything. So all the achievements that you look at and go, oh, this one's about dying in like different ways across the rig. If you've died like 6 out of 7 of those ways already, the seventh one will fucking unlock as soon as you do that, whatever chapter you load up.
yeah.
Like they really worked hard. None of them are glitchy. Everything unlocks. Like I can't, from that perspective, was worth playing. However, if this had one achievement that was worth 1,000 gamer score and it was simply to complete the game, I would still say it was worth it. If it had no achievements, it is that good. I played this game on the edge of my seat, tense, scared, fucking uncomfortable, sad, like just unbelievable. Honestly, the voice acting, how it looks, the shit, man. Folks, I put some of this stuff up on our Instagram channel, our Instagram, where I put pictures up of some of the monstrous things. I've shared some of this footage already, and obviously I've got the full video of the gameplay coming. Still waits to deep. It is a very special game, and I think if I'm correct, it is on Game Pass.
It is because I've got it downloaded, but I haven't played it yet.
Do before it leaves, before they
Mm,
get rid of it. Things leave so often. Like I said, uh, you could. Here's the thing: you could happily follow a guide and complete this in one go. Because there's no, all the guide's going to do is tell you how to get the achievements along the way, and it's not
yeah,
going to change the enjoyment because just don't skip anything. I know I take this, but don't skip the cutscenes. Don't skip the conversation dialogues. Listen
mm.
to it. Get yourself invested in the fucking story. It's worth it. It really is. I loved it. One of my favorite games. Like it's been a while since I played a game that I've gone, I need to tell everybody about this game.
It sounds like the hiding aspect is like Alien Isolation sort
Yeah,
of style.
it is, but yes and no. First off, it's not as often. There's only
Mm,
about maybe 4 or 5 times where it really comes into play. The enemies are a little thick as well. So it's not like that alien at all. It's not like that. There is one
mm,
particular enemy, like it's probably a glitch in the game, actually. There's one particular enemy that you need to die by to get an achievement. You need to die by all the named enemies. I'm just going to call them the named enemies. Um, and like I had to jump up and down to get the fucker's attention. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so like the sneaking and hiding aspect, don't worry too much. But what it does though is there's one inside an area that was terrifying.
mm.
But I think they're a lot of fucking fun. Actually, the most terrifying events are often the environmental. There is a section at the end where things are flooding. It's a rig, remember, on a thing. And it's been so damaged, shit is going wrong. So things are flooding. So there are sections involving you having to swim underwater.
Mm.
That's some of the scariest stuff going.
Yeah.
There's a point where you open a door and the water just goes, sending you flying in a direction. That shit, like that's scarier sometimes than the monsters. But trust me, the fucking monsters are terrifying. There is one that's made up of a giant face. He's just a face. He's just a face. Anyway, that's it, right? We've that's all. Oh, that's our January, isn't it?
Yep, indeed.
There you go. The best and worst of January's 2025 gaming. You got any thoughts on what we've spoke about here? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.